former president of the International Alliance of Women and executive board European Women's Lobby, Marion Böker. Thanks for joining us today.
Hi, nice to meet you.
Thank you, Marion. As you know, the Freedom for Öcalan and Political Solution for the Kurdish Question campaign has been started on the 10th of October from 74 different places around the world with the Kurdish friends. So, how important is to have the new campaign for Freedom for Öcalan and political solution for the Kurdish question? How would you going to evaluate this new era? How important is that campaign?
I think it comes timely and urgently because it might save his life. Because as it is written and also said by the lawyers who saw them, I think 4 years ago, the latest time, he's in isolation, and this can be very dangerous for the health of a person, but also isolation and torture, which we know has happened to him, might have affected his health really seriously. And then also, I think, since we have not heard for 4 years anything about him, it is very, very important that the international community, the European Union, other regions will be informed, that ask and question the Turkish justice system about his health, about his life, to give life sign, and then send lawyers and family to him. Because it's absolutely against two human rights treaties, the treaty against torture, and then the treaty on the civil and political rights, and also it violates the principles on prisoners and detention.
Thank you, Marion. Also, what are your concerns of the current treatment of
Mm.
Abdullah Öcalan? The isolation still continues on him. So, what is your comments on isolation of Öcalan? And do you think it's against human rights, as you mentioned? But let's get more deepen into the
Yeah.
human rights issue. As you know, there is Mandela rules as well, and also Turkey has signed international agreements with the EU, and isolation is a torture. So, how would you going to evaluate the issue on that perspective?
Well, it violates two human rights treaties, as I said, the Treaty Against Torture, and also the Treaty Against Civil and Political Rights, and then all the principles which are not legally binding, but they are a commitment on prisoners and every person in detention. They have a right to see their lawyer regularly, the family regularly. There must be a good health guaranteed medical treatment. Prisoners can't be hidden for 4 years. Isolation is torture. And I think even it discredits the state of Turkey and its justice system in the NATO, in the UN, in as a candidate of the EU. And well, I was surprised that Turkey celebrated 100 years of republic, because this is not a part of a system which calls itself republic. And concern is about the health and the right to life, at least from the Universal Declaration of Human Rights, of Mr. Öcalan, who is an important philosopher and author. And look in different regions in the world, there's his model of gender equality, unlearn patriarchy, learn together to live in equality, and stick to human rights in administrations, but communities. This is a model, and such a person must be valued high, and we have to rescue him. We have to ensure his life is going on. He's in good shape. He has his human rights, and at least after 24 years, he might be liberated or get free.
Thank you. As you mentioned, Öcalan and his ideas are very important. So, would like to ask you in this point, how important figure is Öcalan? Do you think he has a key role to play for peace in the Middle East and bring peaceful solution to Kurdish question in the wider region? Also the free woman paradigm is Öcalan's ideas as well. So as a woman and as a human
Mhm.
rights, activist. How would you going to evaluate this? The importance of Öcalan?
Yeah, I think not only for women, but also I learned that in these administrations in Rojava, it is, for example, a practice that there are different quotas for all parts or groups in the society, not only vulnerable groups, but also minorities. But for each group, there's at least one person in any kind of body. And I think it's a very interesting system, and also to unlearn patriarchy, unlearn exploitation, unlearn hierarchies. It is important, and I know, having worked in Pakistan or in some other regions in the world, that there's an interest in this theoretical model and practice. And I also see it that some communities in Germany, among the Kurdish women or Kurdish communities, their councils, their kind of organizations, they try to live this model. And I think it is overlapping to some human rights requirements, to some wishes and visions of many people, especially women. And yeah, I think the campaign must target really on the liberation, on the freedom for Öcalan after all these years. And as a leader of the PKK, of the Kurdish movement in Turkey, also in contact with other Kurdish movements, I think all Kurdish movements should be part of a peace in Middle East. Yeah, with these models and with their long wishes for independence, but also for peace. Hopefully, this must not be reached by any kind of military action, because I think the Kurdish movements have made a big move to peaceful practice and demonstration practice, that there is no terrorism and in their wish. And I think this has not been taken note of in these European countries which ban PKK. For example, there are some countries who don't do this. Switzerland, for example. In France, it's on a low rank, and but in Germany, it is extensive. It is immense. But we have to move forward. We have to see what Kurdish movement under Öcalan's guidance has done and changed, and is in practice doing when there's no terrorism at all anymore, when
Thank
there's
you.
no defense necessary. Look, we have seen how people responded to the right to defend themselves to Ukraine. Why is it unequal to the right to defend for the Kurdish people?
Thank you, Marion. So just to underline the new campaign, what else needs to be done to grow the campaign? How would you will support the campaign?
Well, to spread the message, to talk with my networks, to maybe address members of parliaments and decision makers about this campaign. And I also had some ideas that in the United Nations, one should maybe try to bring a complaint in the name of Öcalan. His lawyers can do this, his family can do this under the convention's optional protocol against torture, or convention on civil and political rights optional protocol. This would be possible. I don't know if there are any ideas about that. Or one can write to the working group on arbitrary detention to also inform them and ask what they can do. There is also maybe an initiative possible in the United Nations to ask the Human Rights Council to set up an inquiry commission or fact-finding commission on special rapporteur on imprisonment and conditions in Turkey. Something like this. There could be some mechanisms used which are existing or initiated. And well, I think at least every person should follow this and think about, probably we need convention on the rights of persons in prisons and detention, because until now we have only the non-binding principles. But we probably need in this world a legally binding convention.
Thank you. Very shortly, lastly, what is your support to the campaign and what is your freedom for Öcalan message? Why Öcalan should be free? Very shortly.
I think I answered it already. I mean, because first of all, it is unlawful what they have done to him after 24 years. This somebody must get free and to get his full health and rights. And I also think that the abduction of him from Kenya and the whole legal but unlawful procedure of Turkey of imprisonment of Öcalan has or can be questioned. And after so many years, there is no other means than getting him free. And I think this we should ask the world to unite for delegation. When I saw that I would follow such a delegation, I would also ask people if they would join, because the European Union, with their evaluation or monitoring body, CPT, they could join, the parliaments could join. Yeah, let's go to the doors of the prison where he is and ask, people to make visit, to give facts, information, pictures, and at least Turkey wants to be a member of the UN. Turkey wants to be a republic and member of NATO. This is absurd in such a shape when they do such thing, and not only to Öcalan. My appeal is that everybody should read about it and probably look in his or her city or community if there are groups who carry the campaign and support it. You can talk to your member of the parliament, member of your city council, ask them to support it. Yeah, there are so many ways, or just ask organizations how you can help. Maybe there's something you can do financially, but also with donation, but also maybe just to join action demonstrations. Yeah, and finally, I do it here with talking with you.
Thank you. Thank you, Marion. Thank you so much for your participation and thanks for accepting that interview.
I thank you, but also anybody who has organized this campaign, and hopefully I wish Öcalan will be free and healthy and safe.